And the most powerful solar storm in 21 years triggered celestial light shows in many parts of the world, with scientists expecting another display later this evening.
Hello, let's start with the space weather forecast, and there's a very high chance of the skies being lit up once again by the Aurora Borealis. Perfect conditions for many of us with clear skies, and the advice is to keep watching the sky from late evening onwards, but you need to get your eyes used to that dark sky because the aurora in fact isn't quite as bright as some of those photographs suggest. Now, this is the probability of seeing the aurora. The reds indicate 90 to 100% probability, and further south closer to 50-50. But because the aurora will be right above our heads, even folks way to the south of this colourful area will probably see it somewhere along the horizon. Now, if you're not interested in the aurora, here's the weather forecast.
My colleague Thomas Schaffnacker from BBC Weather, who, unlike me, was lucky enough to see the Northern Lights in London last night. Just describe those magical pictures for us.
I tell you what, it was a dream come true. I mean, it's many people's dreams to see the Northern Lights, but in the big city, at home, from your own garden, from the park, it was fantastic. And you know, around about 10:30, I started to see a green tint in the sky, and we all knew it was going to happen, but you never really quite believe it. And then I went to the park. I got my, very importantly, eyes used to the dark sky, and we saw that spectacular display. And you know what the amazing thing about this aurora was? It's just so special. Normally, and we do get auroras in the south of the UK occasionally. Of course, they're better further north. But in the south, folks tend to see just a bit of a tint low on the horizon, and that's the best we get. Whereas I had the aurora right above my head. I mean, you could literally lick it. It was that spectacular.
We can see the pictures there, just right above your head. And obviously, Thomas, people watching who, like me, missed the show. What luck do we have to try and catch it tonight?
Well, you know what, there's a very good chance that it's definitely going to happen tonight for sure. The greatest chance is always a little bit further north across the UK, but almost anywhere is likely. And if you look at that graphic, the red colours is pretty much 90 to 100%, and then there's slightly less of a chance in the south. But I think if you're out there, you get your eyes used to the dark, you should just about catch it. A bit of a tip: try and search it with your phone first, because our eyes aren't as sensitive at the beginning.
They're aren't so sensitive. Just explain that for us. Yeah. So how do you train your eyes to be able to see?
Yeah, well, you know, I'm trying to think of an analogy. You know, when you suddenly switch the lights off when you go to bed at night in your bedroom, you can't see anything. You know, you can barely walk. But after a few minutes, after 5 minutes, your eyes start to see everything. I mean, you can almost read in the moonlight. The same goes with our eyes. They need time to adapt. So our phones will see it, but there's a bit of a lag with our eyes. And sure, they're not quite as bright as what we see on some of the pictures. I think people tend to turn up the saturation of the colours a little bit. But you know what? Hey, look, it's fantastic. Maybe once in a lifetime for some of us.
Once in a lifetime, very exciting. Thank you so much, Thomas.